Hey there everyone, this is Rao. Welcome back to my channel. The Tomb has been out for about a week, 2 weeks now, and here we are to talk about it. While The Tomb is one of the most visually stunning maps in Black Ops 6, it is one of the most lackluster in depth, and does its beauty make up for it? Let's talk about it, y'all. With the release of The Tomb, many fans were eager to dive into this new map that had the hype of Origins behind it, right? Many people, and I mean many people, were excited. The previous Easter egg, during the final cutscene, we had a little hint that we might be going to a dig site in France. And as we all know, or I guess long-term fans have known, there is a map that exists in a random dig site in France, which is Origins. So there was a lot of, and I mean a lot of connections between the two maps. Sadly, it did not turn out that way, but I'm getting ahead of myself. There are some pros and cons here. Sadly, a bit more cons than pros, but the Tomb is still not the worst map of all time. I hardly disagree with anyone saying it is the worst map in the game. It is not. There are undeniably worse maps in Zombies history. Let's not go back to Vanguard era maps. Let's not go back to that, y'all, please. I'd rather have what we're having now compared to what we had in the past. So, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to go back there again. Progression within the map is not the best point, for sure. Definitely a big claim or critique in the map. And while it can be costly for the doors to be purchased, it is not a heavy task for the player. There is already not many ways to get through the map, so you're not really suffering too much. And once you unlock the Pack-a-Punch room, essentially, you can just travel from these locations without buying them and save you a lot more money until you have enough to buy those areas. And that's if you want to, of course. Maybe you just want to save it up and train in a better secluded space. That's up to you. Another big pro about this map. It is one of the most beautiful maps we have had in a minute, without a doubt. If they had more time to flesh out the map, I have an amazing feeling that it would have been maybe even on par to Black Ops 3 Shangri-La. Like, a beautiful map overall. It would have been crazy if they had more time to flesh it out, maybe even put more of the origin stuff. Maybe it was never planned to be like that. Sadly, we will never know. Well, I guess we will know with the release of the mansion, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. And the Easter egg, while not exactly thought out the best technicality wise, it is the hardest Easter egg in Black Ops 6. But it's difficult for the reasons that you don't want in a zombies map. Now, a lot of people are a fan of these smaller Easter eggs that involve difficult steps for no reason. Sadly, the Tomb shows a bit of that in more areas than one. And that gets us into the cons. And while it doesn't exactly feel like the worst map of all time, I will have to say it is one of the most bare bones in Black Ops 6 and in the history of Treyarch, which really sucks because there are other maps from non-Treyarch studios that actually have more depth than this map. Now, I will say, it's not the worst map, but it doesn't offer much beyond surface level appeal. Again, this map is made solely for casual fans. There is love for fans who have played for a long time. Clearly, there are small Easter eggs that reward that. But in this case, this map was not made for long term fans. And the whole map clearly showcases that. While challenging, the Easter egg is more so a difficulty from the CPU rather than skill and knowledge. You can still be amazing, gassed up at the game, but one small mistake that may not even be your fault will essentially cost you throughout the Easter egg. I think the biggest case is the rock step once you have to shoot at those symbols to upgrade the ice staff. I do believe if you mess up, you will die once you try to get into that portal. It's not the worst thing, of course, especially if you're playing with other people. You know, you'll be revived. But if you're playing solo and let's say you somehow mess up just by accident, no do-overs for you. You could just wait till the next round. But this map, should I say, you really don't want for the game to have an extra round on you. And that's where I get into my next point. While easy to digest, it is easy to forget. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it can leave a impression that, man, beautiful, but not complex. And in this case, the tomb really is a pinnacle of that, which really sucks because a lot of people were expecting the tomb to be a bit more grand than what we really got. After getting it out the park with Citadel, we did not expect a map like this to come out in Black Ops 6. I think it really shifted people's perspectives and opinions on how zombies would play out, which sucks. And I do feel for a lot of the people who had a lot of high expectations for every map to be grandiose, and I was sadly one of them in that sense. In general, that you really shouldn't have your expectations that high. If you do, you're only going to be set for failure, especially with a lot of these newer companies having, deadlines that seem impossible, and especially now that they run on online only servers. That really ruins a lot of the things. But I am sadly getting a bit more into a different topic than I am the Tomb. At its core, the Tomb is a visually stunning but ultimately shallow entry in Black Ops 6 Zombies. It provides a fun and casual experience, but its lack of depth prevents it from standing among the greats in the franchise. The map's weapons, eerie atmosphere, and Easter egg challenge, while praisable in some areas, especially the camos, it's not enough to carry the experience beyond the, let's say, 50th run. You're not exactly going to hold that same feeling you're going to feel for another map. Like their Eisendrache, Map of the Dead. Again, Origins, while enjoyable in the end, it is a weak installment in the Zombies franchise. And even though it's only been, again, a week and two in, we can only hope for the best for DLC3, The Mansion. We know where we're heading, and with how this map set expectations, we can assume the mansion will hold a similar style. And everyone funny enough, is actually holding their expectations a bit lower than maybe even Treyarch thought, right? I don't even think they would have imagined that even their fans, who had such high praise in the beginning and throughout Citadel, had basically turned on them for this map, which really sucks because we were going such a nice way. And when Firebase Z has a bit more identity than this map, that's when we gotta kind of back up and kind of talk about the mansion and say, let's start adding a bit more, right? Let's add a bit more identity. Let's learn from the tomb. Let's not let the tomb be the main thing over and over again for Black Ops 6. We don't want for Black Ops 6 to have the identity of, let's say, Cold War. Fun with shallow maps. A lot of people believe that in Cold War, which sucks because I think Cold War had really good maps. I really loved Cold War. Similar with Black Ops 4. While fun in some areas, a lot of people just don't really agree with how it really turned out in the end. I don't want Black Ops to turn like that. So, whatever happens, happens. But as a community, we can always continue the conversation forward. And we will see what happens for DLC 3 The Mansion. Anyways, y'all, what do you guys think? Do you guys are tired of the map already, even though it hasn't been that long, or are you, having fun still? If you're more casual, I'm sure you are still enjoying the map a bit more. I know it's nowhere near as tedious as Terminus or maybe even Citadel, which sucks because those are awesome maps, but in some cases, it's nowhere near as tedious. The Tomb, similar to Liberty Falls, you can load in and have fun, which is not bad at all. So, let me know what y'all think. Again, this has been Raul. Thank y'all so much for watching my Black Ops 6 video. Please have a wonderful day and take care.